Hello everyone, my name is Ankit Lawade. Today is 8th of June 2022 and the topic for the today's video is different process used in SQL. So this is my first or original video in this topic. So let us begin with first the clauses in SQL. So the clauses in SQL are similar to the conditionals in high level languages. The SQL being a query language requires a method to apply constraint on the data, and for this we use clauses. We have a large variety in the SQL clauses like the where clause, union clause, order by clause, etc. Clauses which help us to restrict and manage the data using valid constraint on the data in our database. Now we will see the use of SQL clause. So the sum of the uses of the SQL clauses are as follow. And the first is it allows us to help constraints on data. It helps us to reduce the complexity of the query. With the help of clauses, we can filter the data according to our requirement. It allows us to restrict the number of outputs we need. Then it helps in writing the user-friendly queries which are easy to read and understand. Now we will see the different types of SQL clause. So the various types of SQL clauses are where clause, select clause, update clause, insert clause, delete clause, union clause, group by clause, order by clause, having clause, top clause, limit clause, like clause, join clause. Now we will see all the clauses one by one. So let us begin with the where clause in SQL. So it is an integral part of any query and allows us to apply the constraint on the query output. The where clause allows the filtering certain record that exactly match a specified condition. Thus, it helps us to fetch only the necessary data from the database that satisfies the given expressional condition. The where clause is used with select statement as well as with update, delete type statement and aggregate functions to restrict the number of records to be retrieved by the table. We can also use logical or comparison operator such as like, greater than, less than, equal to, etc. Where the clause to fulfill certain condition. Now the next is select clause in SQL. So the select clause is used to query the database and display the output. Then the next is update clause in SQL. It allows us to update the record which is present in our database. Then the next is insert clause in SQL. With the help of the insert clause, we insert data into our database. Then the next is delete clause in SQL. With the delete clause, we delete the existing record from the table. Then the union clause, it helps us to combine the data from the different tables in single query. Now the next is group by clause. So the SQL group by statement is used to arrange identical data into groups. The group by statement is used with the SQL select statement. The group by statement follows the where clause in a select statement and precedes the order by clause. And then the group by statement is used with aggregation function. Now we will see the syntax of the group by clause. So the syntax is select column, then from table name, where the conditions, then group by column and order by column. This is the syntax of group by clause. Now we will proceed with the having clause. So the having clause is used to specify a search condition for a group or an aggregate. Having is used a group by clause. If we are not using group by clause, then we can use having function like where clause. So the syntax for the having clause is select column 1, column 2 from table name, where conditions, then group by column 1, column 2, having conditions, then order by column 1 and column 2. Now we will see the next is order by clause. So the order by clause sorts the result set in ascending or descending order. It sorts the records in ascending order by default, or for the descending order the DESC keyword is used to sort the record. And then the syntax for the order by clause is select column 1, column 2 from table name, where conditions, order by column 1, column 2. ASC for ascending, for ascending it is not necessary to write the ASC, but and DESC for descending. And then we will see the SQL top clause. So the top clause is used to determine the number of records or rows to be shown in the result. This top clause is used with select statement, specially implemented on large table with many records. But the clause is not supported in many database systems. Like MySQL supports the limit clause to select the limited number of rows, and in Oracle, it is row num is used. Then the next is limit clause in SQL. So it helps us to limit the number of results from the query we run on our database. Then the next is like clause in SQL. So with the use of like clause, we can get the outputs which match the exact expression or pattern as required by us. Then the last is joint clause in SQL. So the clause is used to combine the data from multiple tables into single queries by using one or more columns to match the data. So this is all about the different clauses which are used in the SQL. Thank you.